Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome once again to the Secrets of the High Demand Coach podcast. And here with us today is the one and only Jason Sherman, who's a successful entrepreneur, award-winning filmmaker, journalist, and tech startup expert. Over 10 media outlets featured him, including the Wall Street Journal, USA Today, Fox News, and ABC News. His methodologies on entrepreneurship and data-driven decisions are his main source of education for those he helps worldwide. He's got a book called Strap on Your Boots, which is the culmination of his life's work to help other entrepreneurs succeed. And he's focused, as of course, on startup essentials and then also in Udemy. He regularly volunteers his time and skill set to the Philadelphia tech community, and he's here with us today. Jason, I'm so excited to have you on the show. Reading through your book has been around for a couple years now. I was just struck by how true it still is today, which is quite the feat. In the technology space, there's so much that's changing, and what I'd love to explore with you is, because you read at the front of this, what does the world look like? What does launching a company look like in the age of AI? And so, before we jump into a lot of the specifics on that, in your book and several places I saw online, you make the point to talk about starting being hard. Why do you think it is that so many people try to make it sound easy?
I would say, first of all, thanks for having me, and you're bringing up a lot of interesting points. I would say if you asked me this question 20 plus years ago, the answer would be dramatically different because we would live in an age of massive data servers and coding that had to be done by hand. Not a lot of tutorials on YouTube to make a physical product. You didn't have Kickstarter to kind of vet the product ahead of time, and so many more things I can bring up. So if we reverse that, now things have become much easier. You have the cloud, you don't have to have servers, you have coding tutorials out the wazoo, you can have AI code for you, which we can get into. And products can be vetted on Indiegogo, Kickstarter, and 3D printers. It's just a lot easier to make a product to show people, but to start a business is always going to be difficult because starting a business has a lot of moving parts. It's very time consuming. There is some financial, piece to it, and you have to be committed. I mean, you're gonna have to
Mm,
spend a lot of time.
yeah. And you brought up just a number of technologies that have made the actual functions of it harder. Um, Dialing in specifically on the area of AI, how do you see AI changing both non-tech and tech startups?
I mean, AI just changes your personal life in general. I mean, if we just kind of break through what it's really doing, you can talk about it changing, entrepreneurs, businesses, and non-technical or whatnot, but really it's transforming productivity. For me personally, when I first started using it, years and years ago before ChatGPT became popular, I was using it just for recipes and like itineraries to travel and figuring out like dietary, exercise regimens and like learning new languages and things like that. So it was kind of more for my personal life. And then, of course, it translates very easily into business because now it's like, well, write me a marketing plan, write a blog post for me. How can I, really make a good video script to target my market for my new product and things like that. And it's always going to do better than you are. It just is. It's artificial intelligence. It is smart. So I mean, if you want to dive deeper into, where AI, what it can actually do for businesses, I mean, we can have a whole other episode just for that, but I wanted to kind of keep it short for you.
No, I think that's helpful, and what I wanna, kind of look at, kind of the unique facet of this is, how do we understand when and where to use technology, right? Because it can change everything at this point. Should it change everything? So how do you know if a given technology or maybe even your approach to it is helping or hurting your chances of success?
Man, you got some loaded questions, man. These are definitely digging in because I'm going to be biased. I'm always going to say to use it. If you go back and I like giving this analogy many times. Why wouldn't people have used electricity when it came out? Why would they keep using candles? Why would people keep using horse and buggy instead of a car? Why would you keep using a flip phone or a rotary phone instead of a smartphone? It just doesn't make sense. So the technologies continue to evolve, from the glider to the airplane to the space shuttle. Now we have AI. So you have to use it or you're going to get left behind and all your competitors and all your peers and all your friends and that are using it are going to excel in their field. They're going to upskill their career. They're going to earn more money. They're going to learn and produce faster results. And to my friends and family out there, or people who I know who have been complaining about AI, because I see it all the time. Oh, I'm a writer and it's destroying my business. I can't get jobs as a writer anymore. I say you have to adapt. What can you do with AI to improve your writing business? Instead of complaining about it, now focus on the creative part of it. Because AI doesn't have that creative essence that we as humans have.
Right.
And that's the piece that everyone has to remember.
Mm. So I've heard it said in a couple of different industries, and I think you and I could probably debate this for a while. But you're not going to be replaced by AI, but you're going to be replaced by someone who's using AI. To some extent, that's true. It depends on what you do. The facet of this I want to dive into is you've got a new company, again, tech or not. You're out there trying to sell. You're trying to get the word out. How are you going to be beat by someone else who's using AI if you're not?
Well, because the results you're getting are just faster. One of the things I noticed is in my previous startups, I've been running startups for, 2 decades. It took a really long time to get to a certain point, and we're talking years of like a certain level of success. Now I can get a startup up and running, coded, built, marketed, ready to sell in like 6 months to 12 months. It's a drastic difference from before. It used to be like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so then and that's because of AI. It just speeds things up to a level that you humanly cannot do. Your brain can do it, but you're just physically limited to how fast you can work and how long it takes you to write one technical document, for example. Whereas
Yeah.
the AI, you say, "Here's what my platform does, here's the architecture, here's some diagrams, whip up a technical doc for me," and within 30 seconds, you have a 2, 3-page technical document that you can give to your developers, and it's
Mhm.
100% accurate.
Yeah.
These people saying that they're not accurate, I just don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got technology in place faster than ever to get started. One of the questions that I have for you as someone who's done this many times, particularly in the tech space, is when is it time to start selling inside of a tech company? There's relative to other industries, there's a lot more that happens before a formal sales process begins. And I'm not talking about pitching investors or selling team members. I'm talking about to end users. When do you know it's time to start selling?
This might be controversial, but I would say on day 1. So before you have a product. And as we mentioned my book, and I still use every methodology in that book every single day. And when people don't want to use those methods, I kind of say, get on the train or wait at the station. And the deal is you need to sell your product before it is built because what you're building may not be what the market wants. So you have to be giving them some sort of idea of what it does, whether it's through a survey, a mock up, something that they can see tangible and give you feedback. That feedback is how you then start getting your customers
Mm.
underneath the fold. So you're getting these beta testers that are giving you feedback, but essentially they're getting invested into your product before you launch it. Then when you release it, you say, "Hey, John, you gave me all these great, feedback results, and now here's the platform that you kind of helped me build. Are you willing to pay for it?" And he'll say, "Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Why not? 30-day free trial. Then I'll pay the $100 a month. You got yourself a customer times
Mhm.
500 if you do a lot of beta testing."
Yeah. I love that. So, the now tying all this together, we've got our company used AI tools across the board. We're out there. We've got the proof in the market, and it's time to go. Right? We've got to sell, sell, sell. You've got your early users in, but it's go time.
Yeah.
There's traditionally a ton of legwork that goes into that. Right? There's lots of calls, lots of follow up, lots of appointments, lots of messages, whatever it may be. Seems like an area that would be ripe for AI. Is that true?
Yes and no. AI is definitely doing the cold calling and the cold emailing. There's a lot of tools out there for that. But essentially, at the end of the day, those customers still want to talk to the human in charge. That's just how it is right now. That might not be the situation far in the future. They might just be meeting up to see that house after calling the realty place, and it's a robot in person. But for now, it's still you got to talk to the human. So there is definitely that middle ground. That's what we do. We provide those leads through our platform. And then once those leads come in, I, the owner, have to call that lead or email that lead or use an automated, AI platform to do that for me. But essentially, I still have to intervene somehow, somewhere.
Yeah.
AI is an integral tool. It's definitely cutting out a lot of that legwork you talked about, but we still have to use our legs as humans.
Yeah. So one of the things that can happen when AI comes into the picture, and you've kind of alluded to this, is one, we can lose creativity. Two, we can lose the human connection. What have you found, particularly in the world of sales, is the right balance of leveraging AI and automation versus one-on-one connection?
Well, you're talking about relationships now, right? And human connection is the number one thing that AI can maybe seemingly not overcome. I mean, there's the Turing test, and people are saying, "Oh my God, my son fell in love with this AI and committed suicide. It's terrible." But we don't know what else was going on in his life. It could have been a lot of factors. But yes, people can be completely fooled and connected to an AI because they're lonely, and the loneliness epidemic happening right now is
Mm.
prevalent. So, and that's our original startup where Vengo came from. So, I would say realistically, you can never really replace. You even said it yourself. You can't replace the human connection. Relationships are the number one way to connect to any customer, journalist, peer, investor, or whatnot. Telling a story, and AI is not good at doing that because it doesn't have any emotion or feelings. It's just good at telling a story or helping you tell a story, but you, the storyteller, have to connect.
Mm. Yeah, I love that. So, Jason, there's a question that I like to ask all my guests, and it is this: what would you say is the biggest secret that you wish wasn't a secret at all? What's that one thing you wish everybody watching or listening today knew?
So many. I mean, one of the biggest things that I wish people would know, maybe they're not entrepreneurs or not business owners, but they want to be, and that's where I think this really should go to, is just because you have an idea doesn't mean that investors are going to throw money at you, because they all think they can. They really do. They come to me, "Hey, Jason, I had this great idea for the app that's gonna kill Facebook." I hear this all the time. It's like, "Come on. Um, I can build it. How can you help me build it?" I'm like, "Well, do you have $100,000, to start?" "Oh, no, I don't have," "Okay, well, then you can't build it. So, can I get investors? Can you help me get investors?" The secret, it shouldn't even be a secret, is you have to put the time, the effort, and the money into something, build it up to a certain point so that you do gain the eyeballs of not only investors, but co-founders, people who want to help you build this product and put it out in the market, get those customers like we talked about, get that revenue, show that traction, validate the product, and then investors will come to you. You don't have to
Mm,
come to them.
yeah. Yeah, I love that. I've heard it tossed around in all kinds of different circles. You're one idea away from $1 billion, and well, there's never been $1 billion without an idea. I don't know that it really works that way. So for someone who's sitting there, but they do have that idea, right? And no, they're not ready to go out and get $1 billion of investment. If you have that idea, what's the best next step you can take today?
I mean, obviously, we talked about my book and my course. Like you said, they're very practical. I still follow those methods every day. Not to, you don't have to get my book or my course, but you can check out all my stuff online and you'll see that I do try to help you through my blog as well. And I would say start to come up with an outline. Use AI if you have to. Ask it if it has some traction. Like, is this going to work? Is there give me some ideas. Help me brainstorm this outline. Then look for competitors. What are the competitors for this idea? Because the one thing they fail to do is very simple: is go to Google and type in your idea. If you don't find anything about it, then maybe you do have a unique idea, but you're generally going to find like 20 other companies that are doing what you're doing. So try to validate that there's no competitors, outline it so you have an idea, and then try to come up with some sort of mock-up, a simple wireframe, something that kind of shows how it would work. And then a simple free type form survey. 5 questions. Would you like an app that does this? Or would you like to buy a product that does this? If so, what are the features you want, et cetera, et cetera. And you do your 5 question survey, give it to your friends and family or peers, see what the reaction is. If like
Yeah.
82% of people say they like this thing, then maybe you have something to work on, but at least you validated it without building anything.
Mm,
And that's what people should do if they have an idea. Don't
yeah.
just come to me saying you have an idea. Show me you put in at least a couple of days, a couple of weeks of work to show me that you truly care about this idea and you did a little bit of legwork to show me that this is very unique and it could
Yeah.
potentially be a winner.
Yeah. It's fantastic. Jason, folks want to know more about you, your course, your book, even the AI tools you have now. Where can they find more out about you?
My website is jasonsherman.org. It has links to everything on there. If they want to check out vengoai.com for our AI agents, 30-day free trial, use code VENGO30. And my AI Gold Guide is also available at aigoldguide.com, and they can do 20% off with Gold 20.
Love it. Fantastic. Well, Jason, thanks for being on the show. It's just a privilege
it.
and honor having you here. For those of you who are watching and listening, your time and attention mean the world to us. I hope you got as much out of this conversation as I know I did, and I cannot wait to see you next time. Take care.